Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a grand campaign event for you. If you played in this event and live streamed or recorded and uploaded your perspective, please send that link to me and I'll put it in the pinned comment of the video. So for our matches today, our first round is going to be on the Pry Ford, where we have the 1st Delaware leading the Union side and 11 Mississippi leading the CSA side. And then we go on to our second round, which is going to be the Roulette Lane, where you have the 28th Massachusetts or 9th Corps leading the Union campaign side on Union, and then you have Davis Brigade leading the CSA campaign side on CSA. Before we get into this, thank you to our YouTube members for the support. If you'd like to support, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. So our regiments for today, on the CSA campaign side, you have the 11th Mississippi, 42nd Pennsylvania, 30th Ohio, Davis Brigade, 12th Virginia, 79th New York Highlanders, which were 1st Kentucky about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and then they switched over to 79th New York Highlanders. You also got Pickett's Brigade, 30th North Carolina, 11th Pennsylvania, and the Irish Volunteer Brigade. Whereas on the Union campaign side, you have Free States Iron Brigade, or Free States Brigade and Iron Brigade. You got Colquitt's Brigade, Hampton's Legion, 1st Delaware, 28th Massachusetts, 17th Michigan, 59th New York, and the Shenandoah Regular. Server pot for today's fight. We're at 242 right now. Union up by 2 right now. Artillery-wise, Union has 2, and the CSA has 7, so our infantry imbalance is 7 in favor of the Union side. Frontline reporters for today's fight, representing our Union campaign side for both rounds. We got Doug here from the Colquitt's Brigade, and then representing our CSA side, you have Shifty from the 79th New York Highlanders. Appreciate these guys so we can see what's going on the ground while also seeing what is going on in the sky. So, Pry Ford, this is one of the maps that was not touched by the developers in the recent update. They did a bunch of ticket balancing, and they didn't touch this. So, Union remains at an 18% ticket advantage on this map. And I think it's an okay change, or okay non-change, rather, is probably the better way to put it. I think they could have given Union maybe a little bit more tickets just because of how this map plays out. Now, CSA, they got a point in the middle open field with a new fog that we have in this update, and it being kind of early morning. It's very hard to see what's going on. However, it is just big, wide open field here. And the fog and sun might actually be helpful to Union just because it's so hard to see. But essentially, Union like to group up on this side for the most part and charge across an open field and try to take the CSA left. Now, CSA sometimes like to hold up at these rocks that the Union is now taking over. Wow, Union actually has such an advantage. CSA is looking into the sun here, and that at least makes it a little more difficult. Anyways, yeah, Union likes to push up around this CSA left side, and they try to force CSA out of this left side completely. And that's because you have the point of contention here, which there's a little hill on this map here. And if Union can push CSA out of this left side, one, you're killing CSA and taking ground. That's just obviously a good thing, right? But when you get access to this side of the hill, you're in a defilade, so you're in cover. You also have pretty good access to the point. And then lastly, you can hide from CSA Arty. From there, if the Union takes that ground, CSA is going to slowly be pushed back towards this way, towards their spawn, which is by the road over there. And there's no cover over here. So essentially it comes down to a couple charges over here. And in the past, CSA has done a very good job at kind of holding down this side. But again, that's why you play the game, because you never know what can happen. Weapons on this map, Union has a special cav regiment. They have the 4th Pennsylvania, which they have the Sharps carbine rifle, and then they all have pistols too, which is Union's kind of advantage on this map. Unfortunately for them, though, each infantry regiment has 2 flags normally, but because they have pistols, you know, they're a special unit, quote-unquote, they only have 1 flag to respawn guys, and they're also limited on the amount of guys that they can have. As you can see, you got 4th Pennsylvania here. They can only have up to 12 guys. Looks like 1st Delaware, and some sussy guys are on that. So, with that being said, the other U.S. company is the 2nd United States. They have the option of the Springfield 61. It looks like their NCOs have the option of the Scope Sharps rifle as well, which is a nice little addition. You can see this cav here for the Union now pushing up center. This is another avenue attack for the Union. If they want to take, these pistols are way missing. They're kind of at far distance too. But Union, if they want, can group up in the center. Instead of going across the open field on the right side, they can push up the center side here. sit where Harkin is, kind of in a slight defilade here. You could still be seen by CSA artillery, but you can at least pop up, get shots, you know, at least get a little closer to the CSA, which you have CQB down doing. But the thing to note, right, is because Union's down only has 3 flags compared to CSA 4, Union has a company with 50 guys in it, 61, and then there's the 13 we saw. CSA, they've got 31, 25, 29, and CSA is going to be able to respawn guys in a lot quicker, a lot more consistency. So if Union ever wants to push up and try to get into a short-range shootout, it can be difficult at times for Union just because they can't respawn as many guys in as quickly as the CSA can. Speaking of the CSA, they have the Holcomb Legion with the Enfield. NCOs look like they have the option of the Sharps carbine rifle, and then they have the 17 South Carolina with the Enfield or the Springfield 61. So Union starting to push forward in the center. You can see FSB pushing up on this right side as well with some of the cav here. You can tell what the cav is most of the time because they got a really tiny flag compared to your regular infantry. But as the shootout's kind of gone on, CSA's winning it. Union's down half a morale stage. CSA almost about a fourth of the way down right now. And, you know, this is just kind of how this map is, especially with the increased accuracy. It's going to be very, it's going to be a difficult map for Union, which is why I kind of wanted Union to get more tickets on this round. You can just see Union taking a beating over here. Because, I mean, CSA, we got a charge in the center here. It looks like CQB is going right in. Not a terrible idea. Shootout's not working. Might as well do the other thing you can do, and that's charge. So CSA, unsurprisingly, will hold that in the end. It's not all a Union win in. CSA is actually countercharging here. Looks like PB's trying to go for some flags, probably. Which, if you can get these Union flags down, you know, it's already a rough situation for them to spawn. If you get them down, it's going to be that much harder. It looks like they will at least be able to get into, at least back closer to Union lines. Mind you, Union main spawn is all the way back there. If you can't spawn on the flag for your company, you got to spawn at main. So, good flag notice there from Dixie over there, and then Rocket down there. Good job on their part. So, and good job on PB too. I like trying to push up for those flags and getting them down. Because every second kind of counts. I mean, obviously CSA is winning this by a lot on tickets already. It looks like, I mean, I don't know how much that charge ended up helping the Union side per se. But it's not like the whole Union team charged in there. It wasn't a terrible idea per se. But
Natty woke up and kept drinking.
On the right.
So going back to kind of a shootout here, and I mean this is Pry Ford for you. As an attacker, you like to keep tickets even more like it to get a ticket lead if you can. However, the attackers can be down a little bit on tickets and still be fine, especially because of just the last morale stages in this game. The Union, or rather the attacking side's last morale stage is final push, where the black time will get lowered to a certain time, assuming we haven't ticked down past whatever that time would be. But they have infinite respawns, whereas CSA, they have last stand, where they can't respawn after that point. So, I mean, attackers can hit final push first and still knock the defenders in the last stand if they keep the tickets kind of close and eventually wipe them and overwhelm on point. So, I mean, even though Union's down by a half mile stage, there's still plenty of time. We're just at the beginning of the round. Union has time to adapt and adjust. The officers for this event are in a Steam chat. So if they want to communicate over a call, they will be. So, but Union still got plenty of time to change up what they want to do if they want to. They can keep back and do the shootout if they want. But as we kind of seen, that hasn't really worked. I mean, Union's tried a couple things. They tried pushing up on the right side, got completely shot down there. CSA, they do have slight, or I guess they're in the open over here, but throughout a good part of the CSA line, they have some slight defilades. And I mean, CSA, they're all, for the most part, standing up too, dying in formation, which is good. If you die while crouching in the middle of a line, you lose 3 times the amount of tickets. Or if you're off by yourself, or called Ramboing. It's 5 times the amount of tickets, although we do have some crouchers here. That's the thing, right? Crouching, obviously, right, you're going to not be as visible per se. And if you're in complete defilade, sure, crouching is... Nice, already shot. Crouching is acceptable. But from a meta standpoint, if you're crouching and you die, you lose 3 times the amount of tickets, right? So it just doesn't really seem worth it in the long run unless you're in complete cover. Because sure, right, if one person dies while crouching and they die in skirmishing, oh well. It's the same with out of line and rambling, right? One person dies, oh well, who cares? But, you know, if it happens a lot, it can start to add up, and then you wonder why you're down by a lot. And I mean, right now, CSA is just out-shooting the Union team right now. Definitely having better ground. Also, Union obviously having to push up a little bit on that right side. They got completely slaughtered there. And also that charge in the center. I don't know if that really helped out with tickets. It didn't look like it. Because, I mean, if anything, I mentioned earlier, it was like a third of a morale stage difference. And it seems to have grown a little bit since then. So, Union's in engaged. Man.
When you're loaded, just to the left, just tuck in from the right hand side.
West left when you loaded.
Just left, one's
Get
left.
your loads first.
West left. Left. Go back to the left.
Book.
Hey, game. The game.
Steady. Fire!
Reload.
Reload.
Whittling.
So it's just gonna kind of be a matter. Oh my goodness, you actually have some shenanigans over here on the southwest west side. I usually don't see fighting over on this side of the map because it's not even close to the point.
About face, boys.
Boys. Stand and shoot.
But HL is, you know, getting a couple kills or so. Gets 11 PA. It looks like maybe 11 PA and 4th US, part of the same group there. Maybe harassing Union already a little bit, so HL went over to help, and they did that. But, again, right, we all saw the shootout didn't work. Union's they're much more further back than what they were before in this shootout, and we'll see if it works. Generally, in a longer shootout, you would think, in most cases, the general case, that the attackers would win a shootout. And the reason why I say that is because there's so many variables going into if a shot actually hits a person, right? The skill of a person, because skill actually kind of matters now, unlike it did a couple months ago. Skill matters now because a couple months ago at this point, I don't know, time flies, but they had a rifle accuracy update where at a minimum, the guns got a rifle increase accuracy of 60%. It's just the bullet spread decreased by that much. So you have the skill of the person, elevation changes, sway of rifle, suppression. I mean, there's a good amount of variables that go into if a shot actually hits that I like to think that in the general case, it's a 1-to-1 trade in kills, which for the most part in a shootout, as we can see here, everyone's just standing up in a big line, meaning they're all probably dying in formation for the most part, which means they're losing 1 ticket per death. And so it's a 1-to-1 trade in kills, meaning it's a 1-to-1 trade in tickets. And since the attackers on most maps have a larger ticket advantage, like the Union does here of 18%, they would win that shootout. And I mean, we're seeing CSA about to hit engaged. Union's only a bit way through engaged. It looks like the tickets have gotten closer. It is a little deceiving, though. It's weird. It's like the bars are longer than what you actually see. So if you hit a new morale stage like CSA did, it's going to take them a couple minutes before they actually start dropping down through engage. But the moment they start dropping, it's going to drop fast. Union's about at that point right now where they might start dropping. So it seems like Union's catching up. And they could be. But it's, for now, we won't know until CSA starts dropping how kind of close everyone is. It's probably still around a third to a half morale stage difference, which, if it's closer to a third of a morale stage, that's a good thing for Union, because that means they're kind of catching up. CQB's pushing up. CSA line kind of mocking what Union did, and they are starting to fall back, thinking they're taking too many casualties. This is because it's hard for Union to charge and at least do that well. It feels like this is one of those maps where CSA has to play the time as much as possible. There's some maps as a defender where your job is just to get the attackers down the final push as quick as possible and win over kills. But this map, you try to play for time if possible. And it looks like Union seeing CSA fall back. All right, let's push up forward. So we saw CQB in the center. Now you got Iron Brigade up on this right side, getting some shootouts here with 11 Mississippi. Some 42nd PA, 30th guys behind. That's a crazy Union already shot. So you got 79th New York Highlanders here as well for the CSA side.
Focus on the left side of the line, it's more exposed.
So, closer kind of shootouts starting to occur as Union's making their way closer. CSA is dropping through engaged. Alright, Union's catching up through this shootout. It's actually a lot closer than a third of the half morale stage. Can at least see what some of these CSA guys are seeing down there. But yeah, this CSA Iron Brigade is actually kind of putting some work here on the CSA left. Davis Brigade's kind of shifting over. Again, I don't know why they're crouching. Unless you're in secure Death Lane. It looks like Iron Brigade's also... It's hard to notice, especially when you're watching from above. Cook's Countercharges, I think, is a perfect map with this. But like when you're looking at this from above here, it looks like it's almost flat ground. But, I mean, elevation doesn't have to change a whole lot for it to be impactful. And, I mean, this isn't a huge elevation change, but it's providing the Iron Brigade guys just enough cover. So... And now it's near the whole Union team's pushed up. Now you got the Cav for Union pushing up, and these bushes here, which provide no bullet cover. Like if a bullet shot, the bush will not stop it. But it's a visual barrier, I guess. So the good thing for Union, though, with at least CSA not being near the point, is that if Union does want to early cap and stop that black timer to give them more time in their attack, they can do that. They're down tickets, so it wouldn't hurt them, but I don't think they necessarily need to do that. You want to early cap if the defenders are turtling, or... if you're running out of time, which Union's not running out of time. Even though Union's down on tickets, they have plenty of time. Union now putting up more pressure. CQB running up alongside First Delaware is kind of backed off. Got some SR and 20th Mass in there as well. And Union is slowly just taking this side of the map. And the CSA side, wow. CSA side almost, in a sense, just kind of let it happen.
Hey, who shot the guy I was aiming at? What the
So, some CSA trying to get around this Union left side PB. Big numbers here. Nice little flank on their part. That's going to force Union to kind of respond, but it's surprising. Union's nearly taken the CSA left side, which I don't know if I've ever seen Union kind of just walk in and take it in a sense. I mean, CSA did back up because they were losing that shootout, which is obviously an understandable reaction. And Union just pushed right up and nearly took it. Now CQB, after backing off, is now trying to flank PB alongside First Delaware, who's just popping shots straight at them with their pistols. So, both sides, for the most part, I mean, really, both sides are kind of just making good moves here. Good reactions, at least reactions that you would expect. But CSA still has a considerable lead here. About a third of a morale stage here. So 59th now pushing up. PB kind of backed off a little bit after getting flanked. And that's going to kind of let Union retake the center position that they liked a moment ago. Union it's taking on losses. I wouldn't be concerned if I'm Union. Union, if they can hold this position, which they're holding, I would feel okay if I'm Union right now. Wouldn't be stressing.
West, northwest. One to the left, northwest.
Keep shooting!
Only you,
Shooting, boys.
if only you could reload faster.
Knock 'em down a peg, boy.
That reminded me when the bugler and the drummer boy roles came out. People, including myself, mentioned that, oh, you know, maybe they should actually, you know, do something productive and like maybe give people like a slight reload increase or maybe like a slight less suppression. That honestly, that's probably a better of the two things I just mentioned, the suppression. But yeah, it's unfortunate. They spent time working on the bugler, the drummer. You also have the fifer that's only in the drill camp because it plays music there. But I wish they kind of had a role outside of just, you know, playing the beat. So CSA starting to inch closer. It does look like Iron Brigade fell back, which maybe kind of initiated this move from CSA. Again, trying to make sure they're at least contesting the point a little bit. I don't know, both sides are really playing good today. This is a great match so far. Don't want to jinx it. CSA continuing to inch forward here, trying to retake that ground. Again, it's good ground for CSA to have, deflated ground.
We're playing Warhammer tonight, look. Oh, we are? Did you pick it up? No, dumbass. Got him! Damn, you didn't pick it up?
Rude. Very rude.
Well,
I'm a
just want to let you know, we've got about 6 or 8 of us over on the right side. We're pissing off their artillery and keeping them off your backs.
Good
Yeah,
job,
yeah,
bud.
keep
it up,
Fantastic
keep that
job,
up.
man. We love you, bud. We love you, bud. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Well, that's what they were doing, and that's why HL went over there earlier in the game. That makes sense. Surprised they're not getting a little closer, but there is kind of a stone wall there. PB pushing up now, really far forward. Union shifting more guys over to CSA left, but Union Center takes a couple good shots here at PB. Man. I don't know if PB's always had that big of numbers, but man, they it's good. That's very good. Very good to have numbers.
Spread it out, Scarves. Come on.
If you're new to the game, now obviously I would probably recommend joining a bigger group, but that's just my opinion on things. Anyways, HL and IB, FSB are on that right side again, hunkering down at that rock, 42nd and 30th, kind of popping shots on this flanking side, trying to get around him. And this is the second time Union's kind of gone here, or maybe third time, and they just get immediately thrown off again. The issue for Union here is, I mean, if you have two groups shooting at each other, and obviously if one side has more numbers than the other, it can vary, but if each side has even numbers, right, Union's just really trying to clump up in a tiny area on these rocks, where CSA, what was that? The temperature? What's the temperature? Whoa. That's new. Anyways, 42nd and now 30th are actually pushing up here. Anyways, so they're just trying to get a couple good shots. I don't know if they'll stay. But when you have one side clumped up on rocks, trying to all conceal under the same tiny cover, and another team really spread out shooting in, the team that's spread out, they're probably going to do better, because everyone in that big line is shooting at one individual area, just one blob, and if they miss someone in the blob, they'll probably hit the guy behind them, assuming it was a good shot. But if you're in the blob shooting out, you have plenty of targets to shoot at, but they're all kind of spread out. It's going to be probably hard to hit them. So it's also just kind of a crossfire as well if you're the spread out team versus the team clumped up. So let Mississippi push up here. CSA kind of adapting their strategy, now kind of hitting Union at two different areas. Now Union's still kind of clumped up here. Again, different area, different situation, but and now CSA had taken losses. They're almost up. I mean, they are up 3/4 on morale stage. It's getting to a full morale stage difference right now. And I mean, that's the thing too. It's not like Union's necessarily doing anything wrong per se as well, right? Sometimes in this game, it can just be due to the situation of the map and just great defender play. And I mean, CSA has done nearly everything right. They're also hitting great shots as well. So, I mean, it's just CSA's playing a perfect game right now. And with how the things are, it is what it is. Union, though, once CSA hits breaking, the next morale stage for both teams here, they can capture the point and win, which is going to be very, very difficult to do. But have we gone up to 280 now? I mean, CSA's up by 1. Again, no numbers aren't that big of a deal there. But Union trying to go put group up in center. Now they're going in. Look how spread out it is, though. So, nice little flank from the backside here from Corn Brigade and 42nd PA. Going to probably get some flags in the process. Meanwhile, the rest of CSA is collapsing in on the front part of this Union charge. And CSA should hold this. That's 1 Union flag down right now. Maybe more. I mean, getting one of those infantry flags down is huge. So, that's 1 flag down. So, that, I mean, that's what? How many guys was on one of these Union companies? I mean, that's like 60 dudes having to spawn at Maine. And I mean, Maine for Union is a little far away. Even if it was short, you might not think it's that big of a deal. But I mean, if someone dies, they got to spawn back there, run back up. It just kills more time. And actually, CSA, time's not even going to be a factor. Union's going to hit final push most likely before CSA. Union's most likely going to hit final push before we see that black timer drop even close to 5 minutes. So, and that'll just lower the black timer. So, I mean, CSA's played a phenomenal game. And the crazy part as well is that it like Union, again, Union's not playing terrible. That's the one tricky part about this game, is that it is extremely hard to balance this game. And I mean, right, you can get up to 400 players now, and the devs have continually stated, they've tested 500 and it went well too. The devs have stated that they are going to keep increasing the server pop as much as they can. And I think it's great, especially for modes like Conquest and Contention, which have these very huge maps. Unfortunately, though, there's a couple downsides, I would say, is this map's not that huge. And I mean, we have, what, 280 players right now? CSA right now, and this is a thing with a lot of these skirmish maps. Looks like you have 11 PA going in and getting wiped there, but dealing some ticket loss. The thing is that a lot of these skirmish maps were made when it was, I think, like 16v16, or from that all the way to like 150 players, I think. So anyways, the devs say they didn't make the maps with the player count in mind. They always thought the player count was going to increase. Union gets his flag back. But the problem is that when you keep cramming more and more guys into a small boxed-in area, eventually it gets to a point where CSA can defend the whole width of the map. And when the CSA or defenders can defend the whole width of the map, attackers can't really outmaneuver, outflank, try to surprise, outplay the defenders, really. The only thing they can do is just blob up and charge. And obviously, this map, Union's going to have to charge him regardless. This is just this map. But you'll see maps like Pry Mill, where there is, don't exactly remember off the top of my head where it is from here. It's pretty close to here. It's right here. It's just a long kind of river here. CSA defends this side. Union attacks from over here. It's like the inbounds is kind of long, but it gets to a point where CSA can defend the whole width, and Union just kind of has to blob up and charge in and pray that it works. And I mean, I think it removes a lot of the strategy in this skirmish mode. Conquest and Contention, it's absolutely amazing to have a higher server pop as is, because you have a huge map, you have a lot of players, non-stop action, large. It's perfect. Not that Contention's a good mode, but yeah, that's a different conversation. But another big part of an increasing server pop is, I mean, this game, especially when NA players aren't active, can get down to like, 50 some people on each side, which hopefully this obviously grows and this doesn't become an issue so we can have a consistent high pop experience. But at least in the game's current state, if you hop on at like midnight in North America time, there's going to be like 50 people on from what I last saw. And the gameplay is completely different on a 50 pop versus a 400 player pop. And again, right, that's because of what I just mentioned a moment ago, where the attackers kind of outmaneuver the defending side. If there's only like, you know, even if you get like a 50v50, attackers are going to be able to outmaneuver around the defenders. 50 guys can't defend the whole width of any given map for the most part. Unless it's like a Harper's Ferry downtown map. But on a lot of maps, on a smaller pop server, the gameplay is completely different. On top of that, too, each death on a server with a smaller player count is worth more than a death on a higher pop server. And that's just because it's one of the better game design mechanics that they did. But on a high pop server, as we kind of see here, a lot of people are dying in game, right? In a smaller pop server, not as many people are dying. And you want each game, even with different player counts, to take about the same amount of time. How do you do that? Roughly, you scale the tickets in a sense. You wouldn't want to set it to high pop servers. So imagine, right, you set each tickets lost per death to a very small amount to make it work for high pop servers where a lot of people are dying. Well, if you play that on a small pop server where not a lot of people are dying, tickets aren't going to go down at all. So I think it's a smart mechanic. But because the game plays completely differently, tickets work completely differently on a smaller pop, it can be very hard to balance this game. And it just kind of is what it is. But even though it's kind of hard to balance, you can kind of, in the general sense, see how things need to be adjusted, I think. And you need to look at private events like we're watching right now, where excellence is best had and not pubs, where there are moments, most certainly, but for the most time, it's chaos. And that's why you should join a regiment. If you like pubs, that's great. Don't get me wrong. Play pubs. But the regimental community side of things is probably the reason why I'm still here. It's the community aspect that you don't necessarily get in pubs, per se. I mean, you see consistent public player officers, but would not be playing this game if it wasn't for the group I joined, IVB. But anyways, now that was a long tangent, and it looks like Union's maybe starting to cook something up now that CSA is almost in breaking. Union just kind of shooting him down to that point. They saw the shootout was working for them, so they figured, let's continue it. So, again, the moment CSA hit breaking, Union can capture point and win the game. If they captured it right now, while they're taking losses, they would have to hold it for a certain amount of time. But that's why Union's now pushing forward. Union realizes they can't get them down to last stand. They're probably not going to be able to. So Union is going to full send this and hope they can just take the point. They're starting to early cap here. CSA hits breaking. Now CSA's going to have to hold the point. Nice arty shot. So CSA still kind of sitting back and shooting, kind of watching Union cap. It looks like you do have 11 Mississippi moving in point, now charging in, but you do have Union going in if Union pulls this off. Here comes the lonesome of CSA, though. Point starting to go back in CSA's way. Union's going to hit final push. Black Timer's going to drop. You have more Union reinforcements moving in, but in the distance you even see more CSA. But more Union are... Man, Union went in not together. If Union actually made a team push initially and they captured it, in or they were all there, they might have been able to do that. But CSA is going to hold. Final push is hit. Black Dimer drops to a little less than 330. And... one Union flag down right now. Looks like two now. Cav flag down over there. You know, Union, again, that was the best thing they could have done there. It just wasn't really executed that well. So, Union only has one flag left. It's going to get back. Union's just going to spawn at main and charge in, essentially. Union's probably going to have two more good charges. Maybe one. But... Union, with a few minutes left that they have left, they're trying to form up, which isn't a bad idea. You don't want to go in trickled and let the CSA just get you as you're trickling in. But CSA's going to take this. Generally, if you're a defender, you want to be up by a third to a half a morale stage by time the attackers hit final push to be comfortable. And CSA's way past that. And CSA also, Union, they just got to shoot at the Union charging across the wide open field. Also helps that, actually it looks like one of those Union flags was picked up. But it helps that one of those flags was knocked down. Again, no respawns for Union in the middle of the fighting, which is especially huge at this point. Even if CSA was in last stand here, right, it'd be hard, but it wouldn't be impossible. Because if CSA can just wipe Union flags, prevent them from respawning on the field at the end point of the game, Union's going to be spawning main, so it's spawning on the fighting, and Union's going to run out of time, generally. So, flags are huge at this part of the game. Again, I don't think it really matters for this instance, but Union is sitting back and shooting this out. Now, normally you would see Union charge in, but we are in a campaign, and so maybe tokens don't want to lose certain casualties, so they won't charge in. But as I say that, here we go.
Get on this line, boys. Turkish shoot! Line 'em up!
Man, here they come. Oh, why are they sitting? Oh my goodness. 42nd and 30th are going in. It's like, why is CQB stopping? Nice already shot. So, a really good CSA win here today. They played perfect. I don't think Union made any really over-glaring mistakes. I mean, you could argue maybe a mistake that Union made was going off to that right side and just sitting behind that rock trying to clump up there. I mean, they did that 2 or 3 times, but it's not like Union had a regiment of 30 guys just spread out and charge in with, you know, no intention there. Like, Union played as a team for the most part. Maybe not coordinated. Like, that last charge was not coordinated. That was not great. But, I mean, like, even before that, Union... Wow. I mean, oh, looks like it's still glitched. But anyways, good first round. We'll see you all shortly for round number 2. And here we are with the start of our second round, Roulette Lane. Looking at our server pop here, it's 277. CSA up by 3. CSA does not have the option of artillery. Union does, and they have 9. So CSA infantry-wise is up by 12. It feels like the CSA and Union USA text on the top is like really squished. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Roulette Lane was a 44% ticket advantage to the attacking CSA side. Developers gave the Union 5% more tickets, so it's only a 39% ticket advantage at this point. And I don't mind this change. I think it's fine. At least I know the couple times I haven't seen this map in a while. But a few times I'd seen it before the update, if I remember right. Union could just shoot down the CSA. It was very difficult for CSA to approach. But, you know, we'll get a first taste for it today on a good sized server pop. So, weapons on this map, Union, they got the 1st Delaware with the Enfield and the 14th Indiana with the Springfield 61. CSA, on the other hand, they have the 3rd Arkansas with the option of the Enfield and the Springfield 42. And they have the 27th North Carolina with the option of the Springfield 55, the Enfield, but then, more importantly, again, the Springfield 42. 42s are shotguns, essentially. They have the option of loading buck and ball, which is basically a shotgun shot, and they also have the option of loading round ball, which is more of your one shot, your normal rifle shot, but obviously not a rifle. So, nice, at least first shot there. So, again, as kind of a refresher, Davis Brigade is leading the CSA side. 28th Mass, or 9th Corps, is leading the Union defense. And general CSA strategy on this map, they can take it a couple ways. They generally really like to go on this left side, hold behind the barn or inside the woods here. And CSA from this point will either go up as far as they can go and try to hit the Union here. I almost kind of wish this out of bounds was extended a little bit. That'd be kind of neat, but that would help CSA a fair amount. But CSA will push up about here to try to hit the Union left. They will also sometimes like to charge on this side of the barn here and go right for the Union center. So there's two ways of charging there. You'll see this sometimes from CSA as well, where they'll push up this far left side, and they'll like to hold about here. Again, doesn't look like much, but as you can see, it's defoliated. But if the whole CSA team goes here, Union just responds, obviously, by running over to this stone wall here and then shooting in. So it's a hard map for Union. They're going to have to... I feel like it'd be a hard map for CSA, but of course we'll see how it plays out. I don't know. It just feels like when Union can cover this whole defensive line, and it's kind of a similar thing, not to the same degree by any means, but it'll be interesting to see. Because the thing is with this map is almost similarly to last round. If the CSA gets a foothold on the snake fence or the stone wall down here, which that is where point is, down here by the way, if they get a foothold, they will most likely win the game. They just need to break Union once. But it's a question of actually getting there and breaking the Union. So CSA is now starting to push up a little bit, holding down this Union right. You got FSB, the 59NY, Midwest, Iron Brigade. And is CSA going to stop, or are they going to go in? They're bringing flags. They're bringing, for the most part, their whole team here. And they're stopping to shoot.
Oh, we're killing them. We're raping them.
Low ground, aim low, aim low, aim low.
Man, they are meant
You know, that's... Don't fuck this up.
They want to take this.
So, as mentioned, I mean, good response here from Union. You got HL, CQB, and First Delaware pushing around. And I mean, this is just a beautiful flank. Union's got cover, whether it be on the fence or the stone wall. I mean, they're just going to get an absolutely beautiful crossfire here on the CSA.
just checking.
And so PV kind of refused this line a little bit with 42nd PA and 30th trying to shoot back. Again, you might be wondering, why is Union not fully going to the stone wall where they get more cover? If Union pushes out there a little bit with their whole team, CSA, I would think, would just turn in and charge right at them, because it's really close. However, it looks like some of their guys are pushing up. They're trickling forward here, which Union's just unsurprisingly sniping them down.
Fredericksburg.
Union now starting to creep further and further down to the stone wall. CSA's not going to have full... Why are they just trickling up here? And Union, beautiful move here. Gonna try to get these flags if they can.
Flag off, cut that flag off.
Hey, Mr. Gray, I'm gonna give you back shots. Come here, Johnny Rap. Oh, gotcha.
Wow. So CSA is going to get those flags back in at least an adequate place, so good job on their part. But good move from HL, CQB, others in there as well. Again, just forcing the... just getting a beautiful flank. And I mean, here's the thing, right? CSA made a couple of mistakes there. I mean, sure, they got wiped, but here's the thing, right? If you're ever surrounded in this game, the nice part about playing War of Rights is, if you look at the server count, right, numbers are even for the most part, especially in private events. 141 to 139. Fairly even numbers, right? And so, Union was surrounding the CSA team. And if you're CSA, that probably means the Union line is thinned out. Sure, Union line was kind of thick across the whole thing, right? But it generally means that Union's line will be thinner, or at least have less numbers at any given point because they're spread out. If you're CSA, if you see that, you take your blob and hit one of the sides instantly, which you saw CSA, they tried to do that here, but they just like leak forward and slowly got wiped, and then eventually all decided to go in. Again, it's not a bad idea. Terrible execution. And also, if I were CSA, I would not have charged up top. Maybe. The thing is that they didn't charge as a whole team together, so maybe it would have gone completely differently if they would have actually stick together. But actually, you know, I was going to say, you know, it'd make more sense CSA just collapsing down here because that's the more exposed Union group, you could argue. But also, if CSA won a charge up here and took the high ground up here, that'd be huge for CSA because they'd essentially, if you take up here as CSA, you kind of oversee the entire map. So, yeah, maybe not a bad idea, just horribly executed. I don't know if it would have worked, but yeah, I mean, Union played well there. And that's about as great of a start as you can get here as Union. So, a couple minutes of downtime here as CSA is going to reform. We'll note that we usually don't see that much fighting on this side of the map, just because it's a lot more open. I mean, you'll see sometimes CSA skirmishers will go around behind this house. Sometimes CSA will try to go out here and make a push down this way. But, again, right, if you make a push of CSA over here, and you actually take some of this Union defensive line here, it's an okay spot to be in. Probably not one of the greater ones. Meanwhile, compared to up here anyways. So, CSA starting to go back over to do what they are going to do again. But wow. Please tell me we haven't. Please, oh please, please, please. There's an iconic moment where this is when I was off at college still. Killer was commentating a match here on Roulette Lane. It was just like this. Exactly like this. And you had the Shenandoah regulars. They are here today. And they asked someone to join them in counter battery with infantry. The first time I had ever heard such a thing as that. Which, for those of you who are wondering what that is, I'm trying to adjust my keyboard here. I accidentally knocked one of the little stands over. I think I knocked both of them over. Anyways, they're counter-battering, like shooting the artillery with their rifles, and they said they were counter-battering with infantry. It was a glorious statement. You usually hear counter-battery with artillery, which I think counter-battery, unless you have nothing else to shoot at, if you have another option, always take it, but counter-battering is a waste of time, in my opinion. So, but it's not like we're seeing that. So, because the thing is, right, artillery is a support unit in this game. Artillery is not the main show, infantry is. And artillery can be the main show every once in a while, but most engagements is going to come down to infantry play. So, CSA is starting to push out again. Now, the question is, are they going to sit and shoot? It looks like they are. I mean, we can kind of at least look it over here from the CSA side. Now, if I see Union move out to the barn again, I would charge one of the two sides. Whatever you think is best. But they got to do it quick and they got to do it fast. But more importantly, together.
Spread it out, boys. Spread it out. As much as you can, spread it out. Sling the fucking ball up the hill, boys.
And right on cue, Union's starting to do it again. Actually, this is a good idea here. 11 Mississippi doing a little trolling here. I don't think Union's not.
There's an officer there. There's an officer there.
Oh, officer peeked himself. That's a great move there from 11 Mississippi. Unfortunately, they revealed themselves a little too early, but that was a great idea. It at least keeps Union off the flank. You know, not necessarily something I would have thought of, but they went too early there. Really funny idea, though. So, CQB adjusts, though. Is that lightning over there? Huh. They just adjust. They hold a little further back. But they're still getting shots there into the CSA side. Now, I wonder if 11 Mississippi is going to hop out this other side. Which, I mean, they should.
Holy shit, dude. No shit, that was a fucking bloodbath.
Shift right.
More of them begin. Hurry.
Dude. That was actually epic to do that.
So, CSA now down into engaged. And, I mean, Union's kind of got two lines up here. And they're up by half morale state. Again, you could just paste what I said at the beginning of the last round and put it here now.
No, we don't.
You know, CSA's got plenty of time, but they got to change something up.
Yeah, we have an eagle.
Where? Is it on the other side? I can't see it.
No, it's on the top. It's
Oh, there's lightning going off.
Yeah, I can see it.
Have they ever had that
I
before?
don't want this flag anymore. I've been holding it all game. It's
I know
very
they did
boring.
weather stuff with the last update, but oh my goodness, it happened again. I wasn't looking. Man,
Should I run at the enemy? Show them I'm brave.
no, don't do that.
I did that earlier.
come on, lightning.
Ah, damn this weather, sir. Misfires are a certainty.
Yeah, bro fumbled that.
No, I'm here.
Come on, I
It's alright, Flieger, we all forgive you.
gonna get bold in charges.
So, I mean, at least 11 Mississippi, they keep the Union out of the flank for their team, which is a good part, but it's going to be a question of can CSA actually, again, get a ticket advantage with this shootout. I mean, they're already a fourth of the way through engage, and it hasn't been too long since they dropped to engage. I don't know if the shootout's necessarily helping them.
Get that flag up. Get that flag up.
And that's, again, right, more onto the balancing the last round. It's ridiculously hard to balance this game, but the devs said they were working on a little thing called a company tool. They had a company tool before. Company tool, for those of you who don't know, you could essentially make an account and then join a regiment. It was kind of like a forum in a sense, but that quickly became irrelevant with like Discord, among other things. So they abandoned it. But then they're like, we're going to bring it back. Except it's going to look new. It's going to look beautiful. At least that's what I assume they were saying. I mean, I hope it would look good. But they said they're going to make it look great. It's going to be beautiful. And on top of the stuff that it had before, it's also going to be... Oh, that looked cool. They're going to make it where they will keep track of every War of Rights match played. And that's awesome. Especially for when it comes to balancing maps, right? Because here's the thing, right? If you watch enough matches of War of Rights, like what I'm doing here, what you all are doing, watch this video, even the people playing here, right? You can ask most people, and if you ask everyone about a certain map, they'll tell you if it's unfair towards one side or fair. And eventually, right, you're going to have outliers in that, and sometimes people are going to be biased, and you know, that's just kind of how it is. But you'll generally see trends. But anyways, they're collecting the data. You could do it either way. You could either ask people, which I think is a good start, but they're just doing data-driven stuff. The unfortunate part about the data-driven side of things is that I don't know how much data they're collecting per War of Rights round, right? You can see things like how long the match took, how many deaths happened on each side, information and skirmishing out of line. You might be able to record that little after-action report, which that would be huge. But the thing is that you can't always tell what happens in a War of Rights match just by looking at stats alone. It's like looking up a football or a hockey score, seeing the result, and being like, oh yeah, this team did this, or they were great. You don't really know unless you watch the game. Like, one team could dominate, but the situation of the map makes it so the other team wins or something like that. Which can be very difficult for data-driven analytics for a game like War of Rights, which right now, at least, I don't think it has the consistent high count player base to do that. Because, again, you have 50 player count battles all the way up to 300 to 400 in private events. And it's not like private events are happening all the time, right? There's a lot of downtime. And so, I wonder if the devs, when they keep track of matches played, if they're talking about smaller player matches as well. Because Garland Stand, for example, in every private event I'd watched, CSA completely dominated Union on it. However, they gave CSA more tickets on that map. So it's like, what are they taking from? They could be taking from pubs. They could be taking smaller pop. Who knows? But some of those ticket balance changes were confusing. And that's why I think at the current moment, while data-driven ticket balance is great, I don't know if we have enough of a consistent player base, because even if we had 400 player matches consistently, if you only have one server with 400 players, you don't see a certain map a whole lot a week, and so you need a lot of data on a map for it to be good. But anyway, CSA now charging in, going for the center approach. The outside didn't work, so might as well go in.
Step off, keep shooting, step off and keep shooting, step off and keep shooting.
So CSA going in, kind of strung out a fair amount, still sitting back. Union, meanwhile, is completely collapsing into the corner here. And right as the CSA charges in, the sun comes out, the rain stops. The question is, who is this symbolic for? Whoever wins, I guess. Both sides about to drop to their next stage. Union up by almost the whole morale stage. A idea from Union here. 28th Mass charging in on the rear side there, getting a flank. CSA completely destroyed. Union hits engage. CSA about to take losses. And now, I don't know why IVB and maybe some respawns. They came in a little late. I'm guessing respawns. CSA had taken losses. Good job from Fletcher, though, to get out the flag. Doug's trying to get him.
I'm better than every single one of them.
Confederacy hold, all rebels hold, 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 rebels hold.
So CSA will get that flag back in the end, but again, a great hold from Union. Again, CSA reacted, or they kind of did what they need to do. It's just defenders are playing perfect both rounds today. Wow. You have some 59th guys pushing forward to take some shots. So
Let's go southwest. Let's go southwest. We're going right back here.
All the way up the hill, 9th Corps.
yeah, it's.
9th Corps, we are the top of the hill.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Is this map a couple of years ago? If anyone talked to you about Roulette Lane, 99% of people would say that that this was a CSA bias map. But yeah, as the server popped increased and defenders could put more guys in a defensive line, and they started winning a lot more. Which again, you can argue if it's a good thing or not. Obviously, it makes it very hard to balance the game when you have completely different battles that serve different server pops, but it can also make the game a little more maybe a little more interesting in a sense. Because if the game plays different at certain pops, you know, you can maybe have a different experience. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hard situation. That's why, I mean, they should have kept skirmish at like 200, 250, but then introduced like a brigade mode, which is essentially kind of like, from what I've heard, it's like operations from Battlefield 1, where you fight over a large map area, over like a point or something, and once the attacking team takes it, they advance and try to take the next one, and then the next one, and then if they win like 2 or like 3 points on a certain map, they go to the next map and keep fighting. Like, that would be so unbelievably cool. I mean, it works in Hell Let Loose with Warfare. Battlefield 1, that was my favorite game mode. Well, Supremacy and Star Wars Battlefront 2. Favorite game mode. I mean, obviously, that's a different thing, but it'd be very cool to have stuff like that in this game, but instead they gave us Contention and Conquest, which Conquest isn't that bad. For those of you who don't know, it's like you're fighting over 3 flagpoles if you raise a majority of the flagpoles. If you have more than your opponent, you start dealing a ticket drain on them. Contention is, there's a bunch of flagpoles on the map. One is chosen at random. Each side tries to raise their flag, hold it for a certain amount of time. If they do, they knock their opponent down a whole morale stage. Contention is just proven not to be a great game mode consistently. It's rarely ever great. Anyway, CSA mostly go left. However, they send a larger group towards the center. 42nd, 30th, and 11th MS. I think maybe CSA tried to distract on one side. Trying to maybe draw Union apart. Maybe defeat him in detail. Which CSA seems to at least be holding a little bit.
Just shoot him, Tropical.
Union trickling in more reinforcements now. HL, Iron Brigade, 20th Mass, and the CSA up top need to charge in now that the top's kind of weak.
Get down here and follow.
I can't see them, but it doesn't look like they're charging up.
I don't have a load.
Union is starting to hold this. CSA up top, they need to go in a while ago. They're now starting to go in, but they're going very spread out. This is probably one of the best charges for CSA so far this game.
I want to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
Shut up, homo.
Shut up. While you're getting.
While you're dead.
So Union's going to be able to hold this for the most part. And again, it's not a terrible idea from CSA.
Watch it.
But it's like the moment Union shifted a lot of their guys down to the bottom of the hill, CSA here need to charge in right away. They sat back for a while and then kind of trickled forward. So, again, not a bad idea. I mean, because what CSA could do, as a hypothetical, right, is charge with, like 30, 40 guys up this left side with all 4 flags, and then charge everyone in the middle like they did. Because what we saw a moment ago is a large CSA force charge center. It pulled all the Union team down, and this group up here had a window. And if you have all 4 CSA flags up here respawning guys in, you might have the manpower to charge in and take the top. And I mean, with a flag spawning someone in every 5 seconds, it does not take that long before... It does not take that long before a team can spawn back in, so... Well, that all being said, Union, it looks like actually it's a little less than a morale stage. So maybe CSA slowly working this back. So you still got some more CSA on the down low, now falling back. CSA reforming. They got 20 minutes, but this is probably something that will not come down to time like we saw last round. Wow. And so it's tricky for CSA. They got to try something new. No, something different anyways. It's rough. And again, both sides here have really been playing a perfect defense. So, and with the ticket balances of last update, all the tickets were only no changes or buffs for defenders. And some people said that this is going to make it an already somewhat defensive game on a high pop even more defensive. And it'll just be a slog. And at least today it's proving that idea right. So CSA is starting to shift more guys over this way. And I mean, similarly, right, they could charge a bunch of guys up left, draw Union up top, and then charge in center with 4 flags, right? Something's gonna work. CSA, though, they've still got some time, but again, they're not in a great spot.
Like a gray wave of
And I mean, that's the thing, right, is last map, Union was only at an 18% ticket advantage. Per the data we have, which this is not official, the tickets that I talk about at the beginning of the maps, talking about percentages, that's not like dev data given to us. Someone tested that out to figure it out. But who knows if that changed. But, oh, that ripped that guy. But I mean, CSA's got a lot more tickets than Union on this map compared to Union did on CSA last round. So, 12th VA, 30th North Carolina are trickling guys in right now. 42nd, 30th going in. CSA also going up on that side of the hill as well. A lot more CSA going center here. So looking up top, Union held that pretty well. CSA not bringing their flags and not wanting to lose them yet. Both sides going to drop down to their next stage again.
Don't let him use the bucking ball.
Yeah, no bucking ball for them. You don't get to use bucking ball, boy.
I think that CSA guy just got team killed point blank. Also, this officer's, he's been sitting there for a while. He's got a great view of the fight. So CSA first to breaking. Union kind of going down the hill here a little bit. 59th. Or just a group mix of guys actually, and CSA saw that and turned towards them and wiped them, which gets Union down to taking losses, but the Union side is once again going to hold a charge from CSA.
Hey, buddy. Hey, how you doing? That's a very bad charge, by the way.
Shift it right edge up. Damn, look at all these bodies.
Step off the fence, guys.
Come on!
Goddamn mud crap.
Hold it, boys. Race the wall, Hampton. Up and over.
Let's go, Captain John.
Up there, up and over. Follow friendly. Oh, I'm so sorry, Doug. Oh, I killed Doug.
Keep going.
Zoo, 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 zoo.
I beat it back. I beat it back.
Zoo, zoo.
Maybe a little bit of an overextension here, although very cool.
Get stuck in.
So normally I would say that's a really bad idea trying to charge in the CSA like that. Really bad idea. But I mean, Union's up by over a morale stage, so can you really even get mad at it? So looks like they're asking SR to balance over to CSA, which I mean it's 11-man infantry in balance right now when you consider artillery into the mix. I mean, it looks like SR's, they don't have a lot, they have like 2-3 guys. That's not how you spell. No way, it's just Togray. It's just Togray. That's kind of awesome.
Hell no.
But yeah, it was 11-man infantry in balance, 2 infantry in balance in favor of Union when you consider artillery, which 15-man is kind of at that point where it's too much. The imbalance is too much to make a difference. So it wasn't even close to that, by the way. But you know, that one man, Togray, level 100, by the way. And I will say, do appreciate SR. They've been a small group for a long time, but you know, they've at least been consistent and been here for a long time, which is a good thing to see. So, CSA kind of forming up, trying to brainstorm something, which, again, right, Union's playing perfect, and I think you can argue if that's a good thing or not, that being that if the defenders play perfect, they should win. But it's like, it feels like CSA, I don't know.
Ready to move, 42nd.
It feels like both sides should have a good avenue to win. And it's really, I mean, CSA has ways to charge in and do well, but it just feels like it's too much for them. It's almost a similar argument the last round. It almost feels worse on this map, though. Surprisingly. But anyways, CSA forward. Union Artie hits a nice shot there, knocks down people. And CSA got 2 more charges until they hit final push. Here we go. Union already starting to try to flank down on the side, maybe get some flags or just hit them in the rear.
Shoot him as they come.
Union's chanting Fredericksburg. I'm surprised they're not chanting Pry Ford, Pry Ford. That would actually be really funny if they did that.
Skulls for the skull throne! Blood for the blood god. Blood for the blood god.
They're gonna countercharge again. Oh my goodness.
Blood for the blood god.
I was like, there shouldn't be that much CSA left. I mean, there's T-Dub here. Blending in with the tree. Natural camouflage. Ooh. Ooh. Gets one. Oh, dodges 2 officer shots. Lucian, what are you doing? And Lucian just gives up. T-Dub. Misses. That's a hit. Dodges another shot, but then goes down. Unfortunate. IB going out, just trying to get a couple pop shots in. Again, maybe not the most advisable thing, but again, they're up by a whole morale stage. Can you really blame the guy? Or guys? So, wow. CSA is going to have one more charge. They might just shoot it out. Who knows? But, again, they got to hit Union into breaking and then capture the point to win. And you usually don't see teams win, at least attackers, by a capping on the defenders being at breaking. At least you don't really see it anymore. It happened. It seemed like it always happened a fair amount, like a couple years ago. But it never happens now. I don't know if it's just people getting better at the game. It could be. I don't know, though.
Walls in this country.
Actually, I think it's partly due to the flags changing from 10-second spawns to 5-second spawns. Because a lot more people are spawning in. It's easier for the defending side to reform as long as they don't lose their flags. So...
At the ready.
At the ready.
Hold up.
Light the windows up on that barn.
You can shoot through the wood.
No, I was gonna say we can shoot through the fence. Oh!
Which we kind.
Whoa, Audie, that was good.
Nice, Hardy. Shit, bro.
They're moving.
So,
Pistachio, hold your fire.
what are the CSA thinking? They're playing tunes of joy because they know they won the first round.
Alright, boys. Move it out. Charge again.
Whoever's playing I Need a Hero, that's an awesome song. Oh my goodness. But here we go. CSA about the final push. Black Timer's going to drop. I mean, it already didn't kill anyone there, but it knocked down people. It's going to spread out the charge. CSA actually going to the barn here a little bit. I think, again, just trying to dodge. You also have... Oh, that's Union. It would be funny if Union just went in and started team killing their own guys. But here we go. The last yee, as they say. Surely. Union's actually backing off a little bit. That's really surprising. I don't know why they're not getting up on the stone wall. I know you want to not necessarily get in the melee area, but don't let TSA with shotguns get up on that stone wall. You're great targets there. Union is going to hit breaking. And just like that, Union's going to hold, and we're going to have a very a good 1-1 today. Good 2 fights.
Come here, Johnny. Get out of here, Johnny. Get out of here.
Wow. Look at this. The officer is still there. He's trolling the CSA. He's like,
You trapped me.
you learned your lesson, you rebels? Something like that. Maybe not like that. What is the flag doing? You're way too Why are you going in now? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. CSA does hit breaking. CSA main spawn all the way back in the center of my screen there, so it's going to take them, you know, 30 or so seconds to move up. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're getting that after-action report, but really good job from the Union side here. Again, it's like they don't have a whole lot to do, but they did basically everything right. And I mean, you can have a huge advantage, whether it be a map, take an advantage, imbalance in numbers, and still lose. But Union did everything right. Kind of similar to how CSA did everything right last round. CSA, it's, you know, they made a couple mistakes here and there, especially when they pushed up. I don't remember if it was the first or second time there, but they made a couple mistakes there. But I mean, that's the thing. The only thing you can do when you get up to these higher player counts and charge in is definitely cinematic and an awesome thing to see. But in terms of strategy, it can be very difficult to think of a good way to break through. So, good 2 rounds today. It's still fun to watch nonetheless. I enjoy it. That canister shot just ripped right through. Yeah, alright, we got the after action report. Look at that. We can actually see what the game intends you to do. It's interesting that it didn't work the first round, but it did now. It used to be where it didn't work on South Mountain, and why did it flip from the Arty there? Whoa. Now that is awesome right there. That is, Anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do with no ads. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. If you live streamed or recorded and uploaded this event from your perspective, please send me a link and I'll put it in the pinned comment of this video. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. Could not do it without you. We have other stuff in the description as well, like Discord and our Clips channel. But we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your night. I will say, these flags up here, can't see them as well. Anyways, goodbye.